We are back from Tennessee. Really, this whole weekend, it was kind of just a long weekend, was just a blur. We left on Thursday at 3 o'clock, didn't get down to Tennessee where my sister was having her wedding until like 2 or 3 in the morning. Then we just did various activities, you know, set up for the wedding because my sister had the wedding at her house. Then we had one day to clean up, and then one day just kind of for ourselves, just to, you know, do what we wanted to do because the wedding was over, we were cleaned up, and, you know, we wanted to go see some things. But now we are back, and it's crazy how different stuff is in only like 5 days. We had extreme frost. If you can see the sweet corn up there, kind of looks like field corn now. There's no green left in it, or at least not a lot. We actually did pick sweet corn this morning. The sweet corn, which is obviously down in the middle of the plant, is kind of okay, but now the plant is on its way to dying. And so what that means is we've got about 4 or 5 days left of good picking, and then the corn is going to basically be done for the season. We obviously were not here. None of my family was here besides one of my cousins, so he kind of took care of the farm market. We did close a couple days, but then we reopened for the weekend, and now we're going to be open obviously straight on through the season. And so with market this morning, everything was just kind of crazy, getting back in the groove of everything. We had to obviously load truck, then we went out and picked sweet corn, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli. That headed off to market, and now just like normal, my mom is out at the farm market working, my dad is off in Scranton, and me and the 3 guys are here on the farm just getting stuff picked or picking whatever we can find after all this frost. First thing I'm gonna start out with, like normal, is getting the cows some food, which is chop, which we have here in the barn. We got home yesterday at like 6 o'clock, did barn work, and just got unloaded for the day. But now today, like I was saying, we have a lot to do, but now we're kind of on the downhill side of things. Potatoes are just about finished up, but obviously, as you've seen in my previous videos, our potato digger is now broke. And I'm not quite sure how we're gonna get that fixed, just because it's an older model and it takes a while to get parts in, and we're not even sure if we can get the parts. So we might see if our cousin, who lives right next door, can finish digging our potatoes for us after he finishes his own, because we only have like 6 rows, but it's a 2-row digger, so it's like 3 rows left. And I just want to get them out of the ground and finished up for the season. I'm not going to post anything about my sister's wedding because that's not my wedding, that's hers, and that's her own business. But I can tell you it did go really well. Everything just fell right into place and worked out almost perfectly. One thing I will say though is I did the recording for the wedding. My sister had her own photographer, but she wanted me to video. And I thought that was kind of cool because, you know, I already make all these videos on YouTube, but I did screw up and I feel really bad about it. Obviously, I tried my best, but I had myself, my girlfriend Sammy, and my buddy and his girlfriend helping me video. And they were running 3 cameras and I was running the drone. Everything was going good. My sister was just about to start walking down the aisle, and it was an outside wedding obviously, and I ended up flying my drone into the tree, which was horrible because not only did my expensive drone just crash into a tree about 20 feet up, but it wouldn't stop spinning, so the propellers were just hitting off the leaves, sounding like a weed whacker as the most important part of the wedding is going on. And so I was just extremely embarrassed, but obviously it wasn't like I tried. I quick shut the drone down, and you know, the wedding obviously kept rolling. It sounded a lot worse, you know, to me because I was all the way in the back right next to it. Some people in the wedding didn't even hear it, and it's all family, so it's all good. But obviously I wish that wouldn't have happened. So now I'm gonna work on getting that video edited and get that back to her hopefully. Maybe I'll just take some little tiny parts and I'll put it on YouTube for you guys to see. Definitely I will show the drone crash because, well, I don't know. It's kind of funny, kind of not funny. Obviously my sister didn't really care about it. She was just kind of laughing and said, you know, it's just gonna make memories. As I was saying though, in my other videos, just because winter is coming on does not mean that we're gonna be slowing down. You know, we still have a lot of winterizing. We still have the plastic to get out of the field. We're gonna be planting garlic yet. We're still picking tomatoes, and we're still picking peppers. The guys are out there right now. And it won't be too long we're gonna be starting back in the greenhouses again, fertilizing, seeding, planting, all that kind of stuff. And then you can get the full effect of what we do from the very beginning all the way until this point of the season. So definitely keep watching, stay tuned, and follow along to see what we got going on here, because even though it's like our not so busy time of the season, it's always busy. The cows get their chop morning and night, and then in the summer they'll graze all day in the pasture. But now that there's frost and the grass is not growing, we have to start feeding them hay, which my cousin Dave, you can see here, was throwing bales in while we were gone. And now we will probably continue to do so all the way through the winter months. One thing I did want to check out is the high tunnels. This is our lower one, which is a smaller one. Then we have an upper one halfway up our lane, which you'll probably see here in a second. That is about twice the size, but we've been picking them really hard, and I want to see if there's any tomatoes left or if the cold hurt them at all. We closed up that lower door, just opened the louvers, and we have this upper door open. But there's just not many tomatoes in here, and the ones that are here are really not growing much anymore. It does stay warmer, obviously, and the frost obviously doesn't sit on them, but I think it's just about that time of the year now to where we're gonna come through, clean off every single tomato that is anywhat decent in size and, you know, just good quality. And then we're gonna get these tomatoes plants pulled out of here, get the fabric up, get them cleaned out, sanitized. That way we don't have to worry about it into the winter. Obviously, we don't have the guys working for us all season long, like into the winter. And so it's nice when you have the help to get these jobs done. That way I'm not here by myself doing everything. So I would like to figure that we have around 3 solid weeks of work for those guys yet. And then that should about finish everything up. And by then it's gonna be getting pretty darn cold to where you're not gonna wanna be working outside all day long either. So I went back to the shed and I got a couple things that mom needed that we still have in stock, like sweet corn, Italianelle, long hots, and then 1 box of high tunnel tomatoes that we picked before we left for Tennessee. You can see how beautiful they are. And now I'm down here at the Cole Crops. I'm gonna grab some cabbage, cauliflower, and broccoli. The only problem is that we are again in an extreme drought. We haven't had rain in, has to be a month now again, and this stuff isn't growing. So hopefully if we can get done early enough today with what we have to do, me and the guys can get this pipe hooked back up, since it's already laid out through here, and irrigate this again from our pond, because without rain this isn't going to grow, and we have a lot here to harvest in the next like 5 weeks or something like that. I was just figuring it out yesterday that we have 16 days left of Scranton Market and about 4 days left of Wilkes-Barre. Once markets are over, then it's only our own farm market here, and we can sell a decent amount, but nothing like we can sell when we're going to all 3 markets. I know we have like another 40 or 50 heads ordered at our farm market tomorrow. I'm not sure if we'll pick them today or in the morning, so you might see me back down here again. I forgot green trays that we usually pick into. So I'm gonna have to set this cauliflower on top of the cabbage. But that's beautiful. Snow white, good size. Daisy's barking at me. Dace! She blends in so well with all the yellow weeds. Hi, Dee. She's just happy to be outside again, running around the fields, not cooped up inside. You know, come up. Come on. Oh, good. Step right on top of the bags. Nice dog print. Some of you may have seen our purple cauliflower. Some of you are new and probably haven't, but this is what it looks like. It's a big seller at our farm markets just because people have never seen it before. Basically has the same exact flavor and holds its color when you cook it. And last but not least is broccoli. It was just hard leaving all this stuff when we went to Tennessee because we knew it was already big and we didn't want to see it get overgrown and not be good. But most of what we're seeing and what we've already picked this morning is perfect. Obviously there's a couple heads like this one that's not good, but this one is huge and beautiful. That's exactly what we're looking for right there. Barely fits in the basket. Just look at the size of this broccoli. It's huge. I hate to stop picking, there's just so many and they're so nice. I got that load taken out to the farm market, dropped off. Now I'm back here to the farm. The guys are working on bell pepper. They already got done with the eggplant and the red beets, which are really nice. Even though we've had all those frosts, they are still nice underneath all those leaves, which is good because we still have a lot of sale for these at the Scranton Farm Market and our home farm market. And so we're gonna get these washed up, get in the cooler, and that way we'll have them then for a couple weeks. I had them get 18 at first because I didn't know how long it was gonna take them, but it actually went pretty fast. Now they're out getting another 12, that way we can have 30. And eggplant and red beets, I think we shouldn't really have any problem picking for the next week or so as well. There's really no frost anymore in the forecast besides not tonight, but tomorrow night. And it's not even supposed to get that cold, so we should be fine with everything for a little bit yet. So what we're gonna be working on next is gonna be bagging corn. And I get the questions in the comments. A lot of you guys ask, what do our customers do with all the corn? And I really can't answer that, but I do know that some of the customers personally that I know, they buy it for the deer. Now, this time of year, it's hunting season, so they really shouldn't be feeding the deer. I don't really know what they're doing. If they are, that's not my, problem. Once it's out of my hands, they can do whatever they want to do with it. But anyway, how it works is we have, obviously, the bin full of corn. This is the auger where it comes out of, and then we have our bags. I'll be sitting here running the auger with the on and off button, trying to get as close as I can to 50 pounds, while the other guy over there just holds the bag. Carry it over here to where we're gonna have the scale in a couple of minutes. We'll weigh it to actually 51, and then we'll move it over here to where we'll tie it with a bag sewer, which I actually forgot, I gotta bring that out here. And then it will go on the wagon or the trailer to go out to the farm market, and that's how it'll get sold. I wish that there was an easier way, but that's really about as efficient as we can do it. We can do around 70 to 75 bags finished from start to the end in about an hour to an hour and a half, depending if we have 2 or 3 people, which isn't horrible. It's just, you have to lift them several different times to get them where you want them. If we had some kind of automated system that could weigh it to 50 pounds and then tie it right away, well, that would be awesome, but I don't really know how we would do that. Where were you at? So I was out mousing and swimming in the pond. All right, so corn is bagged, 70 bags. We're gonna take these out, unload them, and then come back and probably set up irrigation, like I was saying earlier, in the cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli. So after unloading that corn, Eric and I came back to the farm, met up with Marcus, and we got all the irrigation pipe that was out there in our cole crops hooked back together so we can start irrigating that again, whether that's tonight or early tomorrow morning, I don't really know. It's still pretty windy, so I doubt we're gonna do it tonight because we wanna do the best job possible, because we're probably only gonna do it one more time no matter what. And so now I'm over here to the potato digger. I wanna start oiling up some of the bolts. We've almost never had this thing apart, and we wanna take it apart, obviously, to fix the problem. And this stuff right here, if you can see that, it's called Irrigating, the oil that creeps. We found this a couple years ago and it just works awesome. So if you see it and you have a lot of rusty bolts that you can't get off, buy some, because I'm telling you what, some of the worst bolts I've seen broke loose, I want to say, from this stuff right here. And no, this is not sponsored. And so if you didn't see, this is our problem right here. This whole cog, spindle, whatever you want to call it, is broke. And so we got to get this baby off to get to that. And so all I'll do is just take this stuff, squirt it in there, and then really I think if I take those two bolts off, this thing should slip off and we can get to this. I'm even going to take these and spray these because I think this is going to have to come off as well. Like I said, we have never had this off. I don't even know if the original owner ever had this off. I don't know how many years old this thing is. So I can only imagine how hard these bolts are going to be. Hopefully the nuts don't break. That should be good. Roll these one more time. And probably I would say the best thing you can do is do it a couple times. Like I'll do it now, then maybe do it tomorrow, then do it again before we try and loosen them, because you want that to really seep in there. I'm basically done for the day, just doing some extra stuff. I want to make sure that irrigation pipe is good. I'm going to go over that line one more time. And my pap, for some reason, and I think he always does this, I just don't know what it does, he wants grape leaves for the pickles that he's making. I don't know what grape leaves do. Maybe they add flavor, but with all the frost, I'm nervous I'm not going to be able to find him any. So I'm going to go around the farm now, just take a look around, see if I can find any grape leaves. If not, I'll have to call him and tell him I can't, but hopefully I can find something. Oh, one other thing I did want to show you before I head up is these peppers. I think because this is a lower part of the farm, it freezes harder. And so you can see how the leaves are all shot on top. Definitely Cuban are done. The long hots are done. Cherry are not looking good, but the jalapeno don't look bad actually. So maybe we'll come through here and pick these, because just look how loaded they are. I mean, I'm sure not every single pepper is good. Some of the more exposed ones right on top might have froze, but these guys here look really nice and they're solid as a rock. So I'm gonna maybe give them a try tomorrow. So I went all over the whole entire farm, could not find a grape leaf. Well, actually I did find a couple, but they were frosted, burnt, like there was nothing left of them. And then so my aunt called our neighbor, who only lives a quarter mile down the road. I think she actually has an actual grapevine. And she said that hers were still good, or mostly good for what Pap needed. And so I just went down and met her. She gave me an entire bag. I thought I was gonna have to pick them myself. And so I don't really know what Pap's looking for, but I think these are gonna be great. So this is exactly what he wants. There's some are yellow, some are green. He said he only needed around 40 or 50, and I think there's around 100. So this is gonna be a lifesaver for him.